Hey, what's up? This is Chosen, and we know what the 10X is going to be for this week. So we've got a lot obviously going on, and also some craziness around RSL Helper not working after the skins update and patch coming to the game. This is the longest the RSL Helper has ever been down, and of course it is during champ training week, so a lot of drama involved with that as well. But we'll get you caught up on everything for Raid Shadow Legends as we head into the weekend summoning event and everything else towards the end of the week. So let's get into it. Alrighty, so we are going to be getting a couple different events going on this week. We were a little bit curious what was going to be going on because they already did a summoning event. The way it used to work was they would do an event every weekend, and they would alternate between 2x and 10x. But recently, kind of ever since the launch of CVC, because CVC is earlier in the week, they've been playing around with trying to squeeze in an extra event early in the week. So having some sort of summoning like Tuesday or Wednesday, and then a couple days off, and then having the normal events Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And that's what we're going to be seeing this week. We had the event for the bonus legendary that just concluded, and then this weekend, launching on Friday, March 25th, we're going to be getting a more normal 10x type of event that we are used to. And the champions that are going to be in it are the Void Legendary featured will be Leorius the Proud, and then the non-Void Legendaries are going to be Trunda, Candrafon, and Biggin. Then the 4 epics to go along with the 4 legendaries are going to be Genbo, Thywisia, Magnar, and Husk. So let's really quickly go through each one of these champions. I'll give you a quick synopsis on them. So first up, Leorius the Proud. The way they do these 10x events, they always have like the one Void Legendary, then a few non-Void Legendaries. And the featured Void Lego is going to be Leorius the Proud. You will come across him a lot in the arena. He's very common on defense teams because he's got this passive effect here where he's going to instantly place an unkillable buff for 1 turn after receiving a fatal hit. And then to coincide with that, he gets a big damage buff based off of HP decreasing. So he's really good on defense if you don't have a mechanic to disable that unkillable or ignore it with something like Rotos or Genbo. He can clap your entire team if you get him down to just a sliver of health, but you can't strip the unkillable, and then he just slams your whole team down 1v4. So you will come across him a lot in the arena, and he's very cool. He gets used a lot in PvP for sure, and he's a pretty solid damage dealer just in general. So I do think he's a pretty cool Void Lego. If we pull up the Void Legendary chart, this is something that I try to pull up on stream pretty often and get people's input so I can try to keep it updated and get not only my opinion, but kind of a blend of how the community is feeling in terms of moving these different legendaries around. You can see that Leorius is solidly in the S tier, coming out as about the 10th most desired Void Legendary or so, somewhere in there, give or take, based on each person's individual feelings. So he is definitely a very good champion, just maybe not one of like the top 5 Void Legendaries in the game or anything. But this event should be pretty hype for especially some of those really high spenders out there, because we have got Trunda Gilt Mallet in this 10x, and she is one of the best, if not the best, AoE damage dealers in the game. I actually have a similar chart for non-Void Legendaries right there, and you can see that Trunda is solidly up in the S tier in the top 5, alongside some great legendaries like Duchess, Kymar, Candrafon, and Wither in terms of desirability from the player base to summon. So I do think for a lot of people that are close to their Mercy system or that are really high spenders, you're going to see a lot of those people that don't have Trunda probably getting after it this weekend. And in a very similar vein, you can tell the theme of this 10x because Candrafon is used in a similar way to Duchess, a super good damage dealer, and probably, I would say, like Trunda and Candrafon are probably the most 2 used AoE damage dealers in the arena. You'll see Rotos pop up a lot too as a damage dealer, but when you get up there into Gold 4 and some of those higher tiers in the arena, you will come across Trunda and Candrafon all the time as damage dealers, and you can see that he is also right next to Trunda up there in the top tier on the legendaries ranking. So anybody that does not have one of these nukers, especially if somebody doesn't have either one, you may see them going really crazy in this 10x. Then the last legendary up for grabs this weekend for the 10x is going to be Biggin. Biggin's an awesome champion. He's actually a really cool legendary to summon when you've got a brand new account. He can really be a super carry for your progression. And you may not see him a lot in like the meta of Platinum Arena or whatever, but he is definitely endgame viable. He's used a lot in the Doom Tower. He's used in the Hydra, and just an amazing damage dealer in general. So really all 4 legendaries in this 10x are pretty valuable champions to raid. Then the featured void epic for this 10x is going to be Genbo the Dishonored. Now, something is just kind of coming to me as I pull him up here. Didn't Genbo used to stand with like his swords crossed? I swear he used to have a different pose than this. Or maybe I'm going crazy, but I could swear he used to have a more fancy, like, samurai stance instead of his pose that he's got here, which is more stoic. But let me know if I'm wrong. I don't know. Maybe I'm just seeing things or going crazy. But anyway, Genbo is a super cool epic. I think he is an example of Plarium doing champion design right. He's a void epic that is super good and has a very carved out use in the game, a reason for players to be excited about having him and pulling him, because he has the ability here where he will ignore unkillable when attacking under an increased attack buff, which is going to be very common if you're using him as a damage dealer in the arena. So you can put together teams with Genbo that are amazing at farming the arena, because you counter those champions like Leorius that you saw earlier in the 10x, or you'll see Skullcrown. Like, one of the most common champions in mid-game arena is Skullcrown, because she's got the speed aura and she's one of the hardest hitting epics, and she can place the unkillable on herself, so she's great for defense there in the early and mid-game. But Genbo completely nullifies it and just completely slams her down. So he has a really carved out role and a niche, but he's not like overpowered, ridiculously broken, super crazy or anything. So yeah, Genbo is definitely a cool epic. I built him, I did a champion guide on him, and I still pull him out every now and then when I get annoyed with dealing with all the unkillable stuff like Skullcrown and Leorius in the arena. Thylesia was a champion released a little bit more recently, and is an epic that works with Hex. You can see here the passive, when attacking enemies under a decreased defense debuff, has a 50% chance of placing a Hex on them for 2 turns. And on paper has a pretty cool kit. You've got a 3-turn cooldown without books. That's going to increase the duration of all debuffs on all enemies. That's pretty cool for an epic champion. And then you also get the AoE defense break that you can book to a 3-turn cooldown. So yeah, I think Thylesia is an above average epic and could definitely make sense in the right team. Then Magnar is also kind of similar to Genbo. He's got a very cool role in the game, and he hits ridiculously hard. So if you're looking for a damage dealer, Magnar can fill that role, and he's also pretty tough and sturdy because he scales with HP. So Magnar is probably like a top 20% or so epic. He's super cool. And the last champion in this 10x is going to be Husk. Now, Husk is one of those champions that saw a big power spike in his value after the release of the Hydra. You've got this AoE ability that's going to increase damage because of it being based on enemy max HP. So in a situation like that, he can really crank out some damage if you've got him in the right team. So that is his role. Admittedly, I haven't played around with him a ton yet. I do want to at some point get around to playing around with him in some of my teams here, especially in the Hydra, maybe as like a damage dealer, and see what I can make him capable of. But that is kind of his niche in the game, and it was nice for him to get a power spike with the release of the Hydra. He is seeing a lot more play. So that is going to be the 10x this weekend, launching on Friday. Again, it is Leorius the Proud, then Trunda, Candrafon, Biggin, Genbo, Thylesia, Magnar, and Husk. So yeah, I think it's a really good 10x, honestly. So if you're close to your Mercy system, especially if you don't have a really top tier AoE damage dealer, if you don't have Trunda or Candrafon or Leorius, if you have none of them, it could make sense if you're a spender on raid to really get after it, especially if you're close to Mercy, because every account, it's good to have at least one of these S tier AoE damage dealers. So I think it's a good job on their part in terms of structuring the 10x. Now, if you watch my channel, you know that typically every week my advice is, for most of you, it's going to make more sense to hold off and pull your shards during a 2x. But for some of you, I could see it making sense going after this 10x if you don't have any of those nukers and you're close to your Mercy or something like that. We've also got a lot of craziness going on around the champion training tournament because a lot of your hardcore PC raid players really use a tool called RSL Helper that I did a video on just before the launch of the champion training tournament, and it's not working ever since the update for champion skins and the most recent update to the game. For whatever reason, I'm not a developer, but Farbstoff, the developer of RSL Helper, is having some issues on getting the new version ported to the game and working properly. So the RSL Helper tool kind of goes down at the worst moment for it to ever go down, which is right in the middle of the craziest champion training event ever. Now, some of you are going to laugh about that and be super happy because you're a mobile only player and you hate the fact that PC players have access to RSL Helper, and some of you are going to be super upset about it because you love the quality of life that RSL Helper brings to you while you are playing the game. So that is kind of the news going on with the champion training tournament. For me personally, it looks like I'm going to be pushed to the very end. I've got somebody that's going with me neck and neck every day. We're in opposite time zones, so they'll push up like 15,000, go to bed, and then I'll push up like 15,000 and go to bed, and we're just kind of sitting here within a few thousand of each other the whole time. So I am going to be pushed and stretched to the limit here going after it, but it is what it is, and I knew it was going to be a fight for Chris. Let me know how your group is going down below. I enjoy reading through and seeing how an event that's crazy like this is going for you. If we look at the global leaderboard, it's obviously been insane. These are ridiculous numbers. How many people are over 200,000? We've got somebody approaching 300,000 already in the champion training, which is just completely ridiculous. I mean, I've been doing a lot and I'm at 60 something thousand. So yeah, going pretty insane. And I would guess that the average leader of Chris tournaments is probably somewhere around 75, 80. It looks like my group is a little bit towards the lower side. And then we've got some groups that where, you know, the leaders up over 100K for sure. So I bet the average is somewhere around 75, 80 in terms of the leaders for Chris. But the other ones I can't really speak to. If you let me know down below, I would really enjoy hearing how the Royal Guard, Mountain King, and Martial Leg groups are going as well, because sometimes we talk about that stuff on stream and go off of what you guys say as well. As far as other things going on in game, obviously everyone's focus right now is going to be on the champion training tournament, but there is a perfectly normal tag arena tournament going on if you want to scoop up some rewards just by doing your normal fights, and then a Fire Night tournament that will be happening as well. But there's really nothing to take note of here. It's a perfectly normal Fire Night tournament, and a lot of people are going to be focusing on the champion training anyway. Then as we go under the events tab, you do want to make sure you're doing your fusion warm-up every day. If you're participating in the champion training, you probably are, but make sure you pull 20 mystery shards at least, just to keep scooping up these fusion warm-up things that are coming soon, because we do have the fusion dropping very soon here. I believe that's going to be tomorrow, where we're going to start getting all of the fusion events happening for the NARI, the Lucky event that is going to be starting for this weekend. And you also want to make sure that you're doing the artifact enhancing just to double dip and scoop up some of the rewards here. It's never a bad opportunity, never a bad decision to upgrade artifacts for your account as long as you have the silver to do so. And then Dungeon Divers, this will also coincide with all of the campaign grinding that you are doing during champion training as well. So yeah, don't forget that NARI the Lucky should also be starting tomorrow. That's kind of gotten lost in the wash with all of the champion training and the RSL Helper drama and everything kind of going on with the new patch, and Yakaro being added to the clan shop with the next reset, and then the new champion skins being announced and everything going on in Raid. This has kind of gotten lost a little bit in terms of hype for a new fusion. Just a quick refresher course, the community sentiment on this guy seems to be about a B+, not like a super meta A+ type champion, but should be a fun one to go after as long as you have the resources to do so, and that should be starting tomorrow. Now we can pull up the shop and go over some of these offers here. With the champ training, you might want to see the value of this one. So we've got the 30, 12 times 4 is 48. So we've got the 48 XP brews. And then we're going to go 4 and 2 on the chicken. So 4 and 2. And then we've got the 5 and 3 on the tomes. Boom and boom. 2.17. So in terms of being a purchase limit of 3 offer, it's not the worst one you're going to see, but it's not a recommend from me. The pack string, this is going to be an honor of the artifact enhancement going on right now, but I don't like this pack string personally. The monthly pack, it's a great time to buy that, as we've got all sorts of events and craziness going on right now. So if you're the type that buys the monthly pack every month, it grades out as about 2.5, and it's not the worst thing you can buy. But it's not this. This is some of the best money you can spend on raid. Anytime you see these mini mix packs with the 100% or 101% extra, where it's basically half off, it is actually pretty good value. Sometimes they lie on these offers and they say it's extra value when it's just a trash offer. This is the rare exception where that's not the case. This grades out as like a 5 or 6 on the offer sheet. So if you spend any money on raid, I recommend scooping these up. They're pretty solid. $10 for rare gear, not a recommend. And then typically these energy packs aren't that great. They're pretty meh. But if you are a spender and you're in a crazy group for Krisk, then obviously this would be a good pack for you to buy. So that is going to do it for me on this one. It's time to head over to stream and let the grind begin. It's time to get another 25k points today, because I'm in a group where it's not going to let up. So it is what it is, and we're going to get after it. If you'd like to stop by and say hi or drop in and see how that's going, there's a link down below in the pinned comment showing if I am still live or not. Otherwise, have a great end of your week here, and good luck in all the events and craziness going on right now in Raid. I will see you soon. Thank you for watching. Have a good rest of your day. Peace.